going on, Georgia Bass TEC fans? Welcome back to our Hooked Up Live. This is our concluding Hooked Up Live shows for the 2022 TEC points champions from our 10 clubs that are fishing in the Georgia Bass TEC Total Electric Championship. So, first and foremost, we want to take and thank each and every one of our sponsors with our Hooked Up Live shows. If you've not ever researched checking out any of these companies, I highly, highly recommend. Not only myself, and I'm sure you talk around to other anglers around and about throughout the state, they're going to tell you the same exact thing. Appreciate Line Taming Serum, Just Catch Bass, Star Lures, G2 Gemini jerseys, PFD, Tiny Boat Nation Outdoors, as well as the Dugout Bait and Tackle. So also want to take and make one more announcement before we kick off our last Hooked Up Live for the season. We have our Nights of Lights. It is a benefit banquet. It's for the Shriners Hospital. But we are inviting not only the anglers that are from all the clubs, but anybody that would like to come for a fun night. It's going to be an absolute blast. We have lots of door prizes, lots of raffle tickets, meal tickets. We still have some available. So if you haven't purchased a meal ticket, please do so. If you show up there at the door, it's going to be very, very limited to how many meal tickets we have left. So try to get yours on the website, Georgia Bass TEC, GABassTech.com, and it'll go through, show you how to take and go through and set up for buying the meal ticket. So, and also, if you didn't know it, the band Waleska, they're going to be there performing live. Super awesome men. Young Caleb there in the middle, lead singer. He's actually a fellow John boat fisherman himself. So looking forward to those guys. Old school rock band, and they've got a very, very good group of men that's playing there and committed to coming down. So come see us Saturday night. So no further ado, let me bring these men on from no better than the Tiny Boat Nation Southeast store. We have Clell Carnes, Daniel Nicolai, and Ryan Marquez there in the background. Congratulations, men, on points champions for Coldwater.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, and I'm sure, folks, if you got questions along the way tonight, we're just going to interact, have a good time, talk fishing a little bit. And, man, y'all have been – there has been – I don't know if y'all hearing it from other people around, or if you show up at the ramp and they're like, oh, crap, here he comes again. Y'all have been dominating. I mean, like, literally, like, I ain't trying to ask you what's your secret, but, man, what when you just get on a roll, is it what it is?
I'll tell you the secret. It's this goat right here beside me. he's really good, man. He's on them. He stays on them. I think he's part fish. I don't know. He's good. He's hard to beat. I know that. I hate when I'm not in the boat with him. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm in fishing against him, I hate it because I know he's going to come in with a bag. Always does.
So, Clell, do you compete against him in another club?
Well, we're gonna in what is it?
Electric.
The electric, yeah, Total Electric. What is
Fishing series?
Yeah, the fishing series. Fishing against them there. So, yeah, it's tough not being in a boat with him because I know what he's bringing in and what we got to do to compete with him, and it's tough.
Yeah, but it can be done though, right?
Oh yeah, that's a challenge. I want to kick his ass. Don't get me wrong. Excuse my language. I want to win. I tell him that all the time. But yeah,
that's awesome
stuff.
So man, we're just right now and just riding it. You know, it's just like when you're down. You know, you get in that slump, and it takes a minute to get out of it. You know,
I agree.
It's hard to get out of a slump. It's a mind game, really.
So I got a question. Just kind of. Being y'all are on a roll. I mean, and I ain't trying to. I promise, I'm not trying to put y'all up to a platform above everybody else. But just you know how it is. Every angler out there knows how it is. When you get on that roll, it just. Do you see the variable when you go from lake to lake, different lakes. I mean, you fish different regions, north region of Georgia, central, different places around. You kind of see, like, if you fish in the south side of Atlanta one day and you go to the north end and fish one day, are you seeing like same patterns, like fish being in the same moods? And
like we fished Lanier Saturday, using the forward-facing sonar. I wasn't able to target them, but I was able to straight up see them, but straight up fish like we used to. And then come Sunday at hard labor, they were hard to come by, and I had to target them to catch them. So,
which one do you like better? Do you like just the old school? I mean, I know you're using forward-facing sonar, but like you're just referring to the old school method of just blind fishing and casting and catching. Or do you prefer to like to see them? And
I don't have to work as hard when I can just see them. I know they're in there, and we can just straight up fish. You ain't got to sit there and pay too much attention to it. And I still like the old school way, but I just had to adapt to the new stuff.
Clell,
maybe I just picked up on it a little sooner than some others, Yeah.
Clell, have you made the leap to forward facing?
Oh no. Hell, he has me out there sometime, and I was like, what are we fishing? Like, where are we at? I'm out there fan casting. I'm like, I'm just, there's no trees, there's no rocks, there's nothing. But here he is sticking fish left and right. So I don't complain. I enjoy netting. I'm like a net ninja out there. So I caught one in the air this tournament. I mean, it was probably one of our better fish. He came off, jumped up at the boat. It came out, and I caught him out there in the boat. But I don't mind if I'm catching them with a net or a pole, as long as we're catching.
So you've already named right there most memorable fish for the year, right?
Oh, yeah. Well,
it was a pretty cool moment. He went to jump right beside the boat. Time I was pulling him up, and just the momentum pulling him up, the bait popped out while he's in midair, and he made a good catch.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it helped us.
Yeah.
What position did you play in baseball growing up, Clell?
I played a little pitcher and shortstop, and
on fast hands.
Yeah, well, no, I was wild.
How many times did you ever barehand catch?
Not wild.
How many times did you ever have to barehand catch a ball pitching?
Oh man, a couple times. You on the mound, you better.
I actually had hand surgery on my hand from catching one time. I went years, but anyways. Nicolai, what would you say is most memorable for y'all season in Coldwater?
Man, there's a lot of memorable times.
That morning at Varner was pretty memorable, man. It was special. 30 minutes, 20-something pounds. Like it was pretty exciting. Yeah, it was fun.
30 minutes and 20 pounds worth of fish.
Yes, 30 minutes of fucking,
excuse
my language, pure fun.
I've never done that, but it was fun. It just happened so fast,
Big fish after big fish.
It was cold, but we weren't cold because we're, just catching good fish in the moment, adrenaline. It was just fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was you back here in the back of the boat, Clell, just like, what in the world's going on?
No, I was doing some catching that day. Yeah, I did. I started off pretty. I felt real good about myself that day. I contributed a lot. So, but the next tournament, I thought I did real well. I probably had 12, 13 pounds by myself, and he kicked out every fish I caught that day. He kicked out every one of them, even my 3/8. Like he kicked them out too. You know what I mean? So it was. But yeah. I try to contribute. It's like my main goal is to have a fish in that box at the end of the day. So,
Ryan, I don't know if I've ever seen you with so much smiles, man.
This is hilarious because I was at that Varner tournament, I believe, right? That was.
I think he's at the first one.
Yeah, the first one. Was that the same one or a different one?
We fished it back to back, I believe.
The first one was the one that was fun, memorable.
Okay.
I mean, the second one was too, but
we were there for that one. Yeah, we had a totally different experience. So, it's funny to hear the other side of it.
Yeah,
I know it was cold that morning. I know he was cold.
Yeah,
it wasn't cold at all. I didn't get cold a bit. Had the gloves off, shirts, clothes was coming off. Man, it was fun.
So I want to ask you, Nicolai. So I mean, y'all been on the road. Y'all caught some very hefty bags in the past couple of months, even for the year. But a lot of people's been, I mean, a lot of chatter. You know how it is in fishing community, different things. Chatter about lake conditions and how pressure's changing on lakes. And it's just overfished, and you can't catch no big bags anymore. I mean, you've proven that with a recent tournament that the big bags are still there. Do you feel like that lakes were just going through a lull? Because I mean, lakes biology wise, they kind of fluctuate over years. Do you think that it was just a lull and it's coming back around? These lakes are.
Man, I think it's more just fishing for fish that people hadn't been fishing for. Deeper fish. Me just getting a better understanding with the forward face and understanding how they live, they feed, they act. But I mean, everything comes into play: the sky, the wind, the temperature, the color. All that stuff starts processing in my mind when I drop that trolling motor and I start looking around, and seeing how they're acting and all that. Last year in Coldwater, we did good, but we never caught fish early. It was always towards the end of the day. So we was always kind of, I wouldn't say panicking, but we might be going 11, 12 o'clock and have one or two fish in the boat. We were able to put it together in the last couple hours. This year it's been, the opposite. I just think it comes with just learning and understanding and figuring it out sooner. And again, fishing for fish that nobody else is fishing for, because you can find them deeper.
Hello, Chris. Welcome.
Hey, I'm here. We can start now. Y'all are late. I'll let it happen again.
Hey, some people got to work, right? All right. So Josh Griffith said, "Congratulations, men, for like the 206th time for the year." He's talking to you, obviously, Clell and Nicolai.
Thank you.
Have you? I mean, I don't mean to. Have you kept up with? Not necessarily. I ain't asking for earnings. I'm talking about the amount of wins or top fives for the year between all clubs, all different things.
I know last year was 13 wins. Top fives. 20. I don't know. Maybe 30, 35 top fives.
Clell, thank you for reminding me. I forgot that myself. So, that's impressive. I mean, especially in John boat fishing, it's tough to do that. I mean, it really, really is, to be able to compete and just keep dominating. Do you kind of feel a fear of getting out of that rhythm?
It's crossed my mind. I haven't put too much into it. I'm just enjoying it while it lasts. And I don't know, whenever the day comes, I'll just readjust,
So I know on our last interview, I know, Nicolai, we talked about your boat setup and stuff like that. I don't think we've talked discussion about your boat, because correct me if I'm right, Nicolai, you're going to be representing high voltage through with Maverick fishing, correct? And then Clell, you're actually going to be fishing with another gentleman, right?
Yeah, Chris Wilson.
Chris Wilson. So let's hear about Clell, if you don't mind. Tell us your boat setup and what you're going to be fishing out of at the TC.
Well, I'll be fishing out of Chris's boat. He's got Lawrence. He just got the Ford live scope active target on his boat. We actually ain't fished with it yet, so we'll be getting to learn a little bit about how to use it and stuff. But it's got a 20, what is it, 9.9 Elko on the back?
It's a 20 Elko.
Yeah.
He's got a lifting pack for it.
Clell, did Nicolai not tell you that we banned forward-facing sonar for Blue Ridge?
Man, I tell you what, it wouldn't matter to me. I'm telling you, because I'm so used to. I wouldn't use it anyway, unless I was scouting for fish. But it wouldn't hurt my feelings.
I was just kidding. So, is he running still the AGM batteries, lead acids? Is he converted over to the lithium?
All lithium, and the everything. Yeah, trolling motor and battery pack.
Do you know the amp hour on the pack?
Yeah, he dropped it. I think we were running a 160. I think 160 amp hours, and then one of his cells burn up. Anyway, we traded out, and we got the 105
Yeah,
amp
it's
hour.
got 105 amp
Yeah,
hour.
100. And we were worried about it. And when we took it out to Lanier, it actually performed well. It ran great and didn't have we still had a half a battery, 4 bars when we got back to the boat ramp. So it did good.
What about front trolling motor on the boat?
It's a Minn Kota 55 pound, 12 volt.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, so he's got all Dakota 12 volt, 54 amp lithium batteries, pushing the trolling motor, pushing the pumps, the graphs.
And I didn't catch, what was the boat? What is it again? The make of the boat?
A 17-foot tracker, probably a 90, 95, 94 model.
All weld, or is it riveted?
It's all, well, I guess it's both. On the bottom is rivet, on the sides and top welded, but he still hadn't decked it out yet. He's still carrying wood weight.
Yeah, the front deck still wood. Did the back.
So I got a question. Is he having trouble? I'm just asking this because it's electric outboard stuff and talk with it. Is he having problems with the lift on the boat? Does he still pretty much plow with that wooden weight, or is he able to get a good enough lift?
Well, I mean, I think we run pretty fast out there. I think we were that went our way. We got, we was the first one out there. So his boat runs pretty good.
The front raises up when he takes off. It's light with them batteries, so.
Yeah.
Even going to aluminum decking probably is going to make it even lighter to be able to get that better lift. So, and right there's the men back behind that can make it happen, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, that'll be a year or two down the road. You can only squeeze so much money out of Chris each year. So
Yeah, Chris is tight.
Y'all forgot he's right. He came into the room, right?
Different Chris.
Oh, I got you.
I know, right?
Y'all call me Nighthawk.
So, folks that's watching, anytime y'all definitely, if y'all have any questions, fire away. We'll be more than glad to take in. I'm sure Nicolai as well as to Clell, y'all probably more than glad to answer any questions anybody's got between boat setups or fishing in general. Be more than glad to talk about it.
I do want to give a shout out to Donnie. I didn't do it in the high voltage, but I'm gonna do it here in this one. I want to tell him thank you for running an awesome club in high voltage and Coldwater. Appreciate everything he does. I mean, he's just a great person.
Yeah, Donnie's a great guy. Runs really good trails. So.
Those of y'all want to come and
Great people.
fish in a big club, maybe a little more competition, or just with good folks, high voltage or Coldwater.
Yeah,
I can say this because I know Donnie well enough with it, and I'm sure other club presidents that's out there, not only in just John Boat, just any fishing group organization that's a director or anything like that, they can understand it. You got to be a certain character in life to be able to run a club. And Donnie Boone has definitely got a God-given gift. He does a really, really good job running the club. So couldn't agree with that better. So I know I've asked this before. Y'all, Clell, Nicolai, y'all sat down before, but tell again, how many years have y'all been competing in electric-only John Boat style tournaments?
I think we started in 17.
That's right.
I call it, well, me and him hadn't talked maybe in a year or so. We didn't talk every day. We'd see each other here or there. And then I I don't know, the wheels got to turning, got interested in it, and called him up and said, "Come fish with me," you know. 'Cause I know he hadn't fished in a while.
We grew up fishing together, so when he called me, and it was time, so it was good timing. Get back into it. We did a lot of fishing growing up together. So,
All right, so I don't know if I've ever asked y'all this on previous lives or anything, but let's hear what if you had to catch just like one fish, one species fish to go after. What would be y'all's favorite? Just I love fishing for that fish,
spot.
or a bucket list fish. Either one.
I like catching spots. I'm gonna just tell you, that's fun to me.
I like spots myself.
They're aggressive, you know. They're fun to catch. Now I had fun smallmouth fishing. You know, that smallmouth fishing was really fun and aggressive. I love that now, but as far as around here, I like fishing for them spots.
Before we jump into this question, you mentioned a smallmouth, so obviously y'all have both caught a smallmouth before.
Yeah, I went to Canada up in this past year, and me and my son, and we went on a canoe trip in the lakes that border Canada and the U.S. And we caught so many smallmouth. It was and pike. It was amazing.
What time of year did you go?
It was around September, just before September. So August.
So it must have been pretty chilly up there.
It wasn't. It was a good time. It really wasn't bad at all. They said we caught it perfect time, you know, for the bugs, the mosquitoes, and everything else. But yeah, it was a great trip.
Big lake or pond style, like smaller reservoirs?
What's that? The lakes are all connected. You know, you take portages over one to the other up there. A lot of people know Lac LaCroix, you know. It's a big lake that's known for the smallmouth. I think it's the smallmouth capital of the world, Lac LaCroix. Anyway, we were one lake. We didn't make one portage to it. We stayed at Lake Crane. I think it was Crane. Lake Loon, and we camped out for a week and caught fish, and it was awesome. A lot of pike. They love a buzzbait there. It was amazing.
Did you have a depth finder on the canoe or just blind?
No, you didn't need no depth finder there. It was full of fish.
Fairly deep.
Get my boats, huh?
Fairly deep lakes, or are they pretty?
Yeah, there's very spots in this. It seemed to be deep anyway. I didn't have a depth finder, but by casting out there and getting out, I didn't want to flip the kayak out there for sure. Yeah, they're pretty good sized lakes.
That's cool. Nicolai, you've caught a smallmouth?
It's been a long time. I really can't even remember, but I know I've caught one when I was young.
Yeah. So Chris Day's got a question for y'all. So first off by saying great job, both y'all men. Have either of y'all been to Blue Ridge yet?
I haven't.
No, 2 months ago, but didn't hit on nothing really. Got to see the lake, but didn't find what I was looking for. But I'll plan on going here in maybe a couple weeks, make one trip.
So okay, and asking that, not asking spots or anything like that, but I'm sure y'all would relate to that. Tournament fishing during 2022, did y'all do a lot of pre-fishing, or did y'all just kind of go out there knowing past knowledge and just running it?
I don't think we pre-fished none for Coldwater.
Yeah, the last 2 years, I've just gotten to believe. I mean, pre-fishing has hurt me. I've gotten to where I like to go just figure it out the day of. Yeah, I can't recall one really.
Not in Coldwater.
Not Coldwater.
So asking this, expanding on that a little bit more, Nicolai, your trip that you went to Blue Ridge, and it don't even necessarily have to be Blue Ridge, and that's why I brought up the last question. Do you kind of see it as, when you do go pre-fish, do you utilize that as, everybody talks about dead space in lakes. There's a lot of those areas where it's just dead space. Do you kind of go up, now it's ruled out in the back of your mind knowing those are dead spaces, or are you going to be, okay, we need to probably recheck this, make sure? Do you ever second guess yourself, go back?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta go find me. I gotta go find the fish that I can catch. So, and I'll study on a map or something and get an idea of things that I like. I like to fish, what I'm looking for, and I'll go check them all. You know, I might not sit there and fish long. I just need to see it. I want to see it. I want to see if it's got any bait or anything around. Uh, but yeah, I might hit a spot and I might not see nothing there, but that don't mean in 2 months that there won't be.
Agreed. All right. So I got to ask a question cumulatively between y'all two. All right. Y'all have competed together for a couple of years together, correct?
Yep.
Y'all style of fishing. You both know each other's patterns. You know how each other's fishing. Y'all are going to be competing against each other in the TEC, against clubs, because the clubs are also going to be fishing against each other as well for a club payout. Is that kind of messing with y'all's mind a little bit, knowing what the other one's doing? Do y'all talk to each other still, or y'all still just?
He'll get in my head because he'll be out there catching fish, and I'll be out there like, trying to find something, So there's times, I don't even want to answer his phone call because I know he's got a boatload and I ain't even caught a fish yet. So sometimes it does get to me. He's good.
Nicolai, do you plan on, if you get on some fish up there, calling Clell up and say, "Hey, man"? I have to ask it. I'm sorry.
I might give him a call, make sure he ain't fell in the lake or something.
That's about it. Yeah, he's checking on me. He'll check on me.
So that way everybody knows, I'm going to put it in the comment feed, Clell's cell phone number. The TEC event's February 25th. Everybody can call it that day. How's that sound, Clell?
That's awesome.
I wouldn't do that to you. But I fired a bunch out at you left and right. Chris, Ryan, what about y'all, man?
What's your favorite lake to fish, Clell?
Latham.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Latham. Lake Latham.
Why do you like Latham so much?
What is about it?
Spots. Yeah, I like spots. They're like I said, they're aggressive, and I seem like every time I get on a lake that has spots, I usually fare pretty well on it. I got a bait they like, so I like fishing with them. That's Latham. Mm-hmm. What about y'all?
You follow?
You follow the big lakes, yes. That's good fishing there.
I don't know. Yargo's the closest to me, so I spend a lot of time on Yargo, which there's spots there too, by the way.
Yeah. Know that.
Some decent spots in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, me?
Wait on
I
you.
don't have a
Ain't
favorite.
that now?
I don't have a favorite lake. I enjoy them all.
Because you catch all the fish on all the lakes.
He does.
My least favorite, probably hard labor, just because I've seen it so many times in the past 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Now you got a least favorite?
A least favorite? Oh boy. I mean, let's see here. I like every one of them. As long as I'm on a boat with him, man, it seems like I catch fish everywhere. So I mean, I have a hard time thinking of which lake I don't have fun at. Man, no, I don't think I got one, man. A least favorite.
He's the first one that hadn't said hickory log.
That is true, isn't it?
Everybody else that we've interviewed was asking
Hickory
what their
log,
least
I
favorite
caught
lake
fish
is. And they're all
there.
like,
I've
hickory
only been
log.
there once, and I caught some fish. So
Yeah, I mean,
I did well there.
You and your son caught fish.
Yeah.
We caught fish. I mean, they weren't big.
No,
but
I didn't have no.
it was
bag, but
fun,
was
fun. With kids.
Figure them out.
Kids had a good time.
Yeah, we had both our sons in that tournament. Yeah.
I would have figured, Nicolai, you would have said Black Shoals. I don't know why, but I was just thinking.
Shoals.
What, least favorite?
No, liking it.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I like all of them. That's why I was just pointing out. The least favorite probably hard labor. So,
where's a lake in the nation? Obviously, Clell, you went up to Canada, and that was probably like a cool factor list. But if you could go anywhere in the nation to go fish after a fish, where would you go?
I'd want to go to Texas.
Toledo Bend out there.
Falcon, or there's a couple good lakes out there.
Lake Fork. Yeah, so I've been to Mexico fishing, and anything close to down there is where I want to go because that's some really good fishing.
So the reason why I asked that, I was kind of surprised. Y'all both saying y'all like spotted bass fishing. I figured y'all would have said North California.
Well, no, I don't know much about California, but I like Logan Martin and all the Alabama lakes and Neely Henry and all that. That river chain is just it's real fun.
You haven't seen all the pictures and the videos of those, tanks of spotted bass in California?
No, sir.
Go home. When the live ends, just start pulling up YouTube, North California spotted bass. You're going to be Lord. I'm talking like double-digit spotted
My
bass.
next trip.
You're talking like the old days of tactical bassing?
I don't know who it is, but it's phenomenal watching all those double-digit spotted bass.
Double digit spotted bass.
Dude,
So you said Texas. Where'd you go in Texas?
Man,
Falcon,
I'm like
or
5-6
Lake Fork,
pounders,
like
like
you
a stud.
So, Josh Griffith, if you can help me out on this, maybe I'm not, or maybe y'all men can look at it and understand it a little bit. A bait spots like, oh yeah, do tell. I don't know what we was talking about.
I can't tell mine.
Josh, if you don't mind, maybe expand on that a little bit, bud, because I'm trying to understand the question a little bit. I don't know if he's talking about spotted bass or if he's talking about specific
I think
locations.
you're talking about a bait that spots like.
Oh, yep, that's right. You're right. Clell said he has a bait spots like. So do tell.
Do tell, I can't tell. Like,
Okay, so what's your favorite bait to fish with?
man, I like power fishing, so I'm gonna say a buzz bait. Like I love buzz bait, spinner bait. Oh no, not for spots. I'm staying away from spots. The question, because I ain't got but one. I got one bait I love.
Carolina rig
Yeah, that is a good one.
and a jig.
Yeah, that works great.
I hate to even post this comment, but I know Josh and he ain't meaning nothing bad by it.
That is awesome. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh Lord.
That's awesome.
The jerk and the goat. How's that? Hey, it ain't nothing. My daughter used to always call me jerk too, so it's all good.
I've been married for like 23 years, so I've been called it several times.
Yeah. Chris Gayton saying a couple great guys there. You ain't kidding. Man.
He threw it. I've never seen him so flustered.
I'm sitting there just trying to think how we can tiptoe around, not telling the bait, but just giving them a little meat to the bone. Oh, here it is.
You think the bait is merit?
PM you.
We just don't want to tell everybody it's that pink bubble gum zoom trick worm, ain't it?
Crankbait.
Yeah, I
Pink
did. I did
crankbait.
catch a lot of fish with a crankbait this year.
Everybody's mind goes to so much speculation so quick. Like I literally went to naming off about 4 or 5 things in my mind. I'm stuck to one, but oh man, this is like called we're ending the Hooked Up Live series with the jerk.
He's a jerk.
He's a jerk who be jerking lips. I love it.
Okay, back on track. I got a question. All right, so are you a bait caster guy or a
Bait
spinner?
caster. I don't throw.
You didn't even let me finish the question.
I'm sorry. Jerk. There you go. You got me all picked up.
You like Zepco's, right?
No, man, I don't fish with. I don't even like a spinning reel. I don't
Really?
even own a spinning reel. I like to power fish is what I like to do. I mean, that's what I do. That's what
You got a preferred brand of rod reel combo that you like, or
We
you
just got him set up this past year or something. He really
Yeah,
likes.
he got me set up with a black ice ducket and one of those
It's a Shimano Corrado.
Corrado DC reel, and man, I can throw a shaky head on it. Yeah, and I usually don't throw a shaky head too
Fluke.
much. And a crankbait, like I can throw it like
Small
crankbait.
crankbait, little shad wrap.
Man, I can zoom it. I like throwing it on it. So something light, it actually throws everything good. But
So it's not a crankbait. It's not a shad wrap.
yeah, I love throwing it. I caught a lot of fish at Barner on the
What
crankbait.
do y'all think is the most important piece of equipment for these tournaments?
Good question.
Aside from like your graphs and anything on your boat, like tackle wise.
Man, I think it's just knowledge of the lake and the knowledge of fish in general. Like, I know, I'll go through so many baits sitting there with Nicolai. I mean, really, it's just trying to figure them out, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, man. It's just being open-minded, open-minded, and a good net man. That's it. That's right.
Okay, with expanding on that question, has there ever been those moments when you're out there fishing, tournament plays or whatever, and one or the other is literally picked up on something, maybe during the year last year, and you're like, holy cow, that bait has been phenomenal. Uh-oh.
For sure. That's the bait I won't tell y'all. It's been working for us for since I found it that time.
So
I
you figured
don't throw it as much. That's
That's
him.
him. But it's paid off a bunch.
We like to figure out our own baits. We don't really like to throw the same thing. I guess we just take more pride in figuring out what works for us, our baits.
I cannot stand throwing his pole.
We might match up colors or something, but we don't like tying on the same baits. We ain't gonna show up to the lake with the same baits. He
could go and catch 3 fish and he'll say, put this on, they're hitting it. And I'm like, I want to figure out, I want to catch my own fish. But then I'll end up switching after so long. So 4 fish has usually got me.
why are we like that? Because and I don't mind telling y'all this. I mean, pre-fishing, I'm the same way. Like JV will sit there in the boat and he'll catch 5 to my 1.
That's right.
And I'm sitting there doing the same thing, Clell, you're talking about. Why do you think us anglers are like that? Like,
man,
we do our own thing.
Yeah, I take pride in finding my own fish and trying to figure them out myself. So I usually put a lot of thought into it, and I go through, the years we've been raised fishing, and then I try to do my own thing. And I don't want to copycat nobody too either. I mean, like Nicolai says, he was out there catching fish at hard labor, and he's like, here, take this and throw it. And I'm like, man, no, it's not me. I don't, that's you, that's me, but you got sometimes you can't be too stubborn. You just got to change.
It was a different color, and he's throwing around, but you really had to target him to pick him off.
Well, what about this, Nicolai? And I'm not trying to get the bait, so don't take it from this question. I'm trying to get the bait. Nicolai, you know what Clell is throwing and catching. You know his love for that new bait. Do you see yourself? Are you throwing it? Are you going to be swapping and wanting to throw it? Is it going to be the back of your head? Or are you just like, I've got my own style?
I mean,
He didn't even want to tell the competition.
I keep some of them in the box, but it ain't.
He don't need my bait
rely
to
on
catch
it.
fish. That's for sure. He don't need my bait to catch fish. I fish totally different than him. So it's pretty good that we fish when we fish together, because he'll be doing his thing and I'll be doing my thing. And like you said, one of us. Usually it's him figuring it out, but every now and then I'll find an acorn and figure out something for us.
Yeah.
So.
Jason Brown, another competitor in Georgia Bass TEC, saying congratulations, guys, on an outstanding year.
Thank
you, Jason, and thank you, Chris, earlier for your comment.
Thank you, Chris.
Where was that at? Boy, the comments are coming in. I clicked the wrong one. Laner Johnson, not me. You catching. I'm switching to what you got. I don't know how to pronounce it. Rosala, Daniel, your baby boy won't let me watch y'all on the TV.
That's my little one, Max.
That's awesome.
She can watch it later.
That's awesome.
Hey, I was talking earlier about nets. Are y'all pretty much like as soon as somebody gets fish on, the other person grabbing a net? Or
I will fall in the lake getting a net.
Yeah, he gets the net pretty quick. I don't have a chance to get to the net because he's cutting me off.
True story.
Because he'll
I'm
set
gonna
the
try
hook. We're fishing this way. He sets the hook. Well, the rod's way over here, so the line's stretching across the boat. The rod's across the boat. I have to do the limbo to get to the net, you know.
So it's like fishing with a 4-year-old.
It's
what you're trying to say.
It's fun.
I'll just say, whenever you're gonna let me by, let me know because I'm waiting.
Yeah, he's sitting there waiting to get the net. But no, I'm spot on that. You get a fish on, I'll have that net in my hand before you know it. I mean, seriously. And I ain't like some people.
Tournament things like everybody into nets. I've never owned
You've
a
always
fish net
you
in
gotta
my
have
life.
a good net guy.
I mean, really, yeah. You really a net guy can knock them off for you.
Yes.
My partner, Chris, that I'm fishing with, has the TEC, last year at Juliet, that he knocked off a 4-pounder right there at the boat and jabbed it and pushed my lure deeper in the water with it and then pulled it back and pulled the bait out of his mouth and the fish swam on. So, yeah, good net man really makes it.
We've had them snap that line. Like if they shoot under the boat and you have that net out, I can snap your line. You can lose the fish.
I've never even owned a net before.
Yeah, I've about knocked off some fish.
Nicolai, I got a question, and I keep going back towards Clell talking about the bait. It's got my mind just thinking of something.
Ain't nobody gonna let that go.
Two questions. I swear I'm not picking it out. So, Nicolai, with forward-facing sonar, do you feel the same way? Like, do you have like a confidence bait that you're like, that is my bait, forward-facing sonar. I know I can do it. And I want to pause just before you answer it. I'd love if people want to comment on here, not asking what they're catching them on or what their bait is, but comment. If you feel like you've got a bait that's like you know I've got a confidence bait, just comment something. Nicolai, do you feel that way? You got one?
Yeah, I got about 3 of them.
It's 3 more than I got.
Got about 3 of them I'm confident with that I can go to any lake anytime and do it.
Earthworm.
Earthworm. Did I hear earthworms in the background? We do not allow that in the TEC or in the other clubs. That we do.
It's not about my kind of fishing.
You just got to know
All the catfish eat earthworms.
not to force them to bite, you know. Sometimes you just got to relax, though.
Yes.
Just straight up fish.
So, okay, I want to ask, of all of the great days that y'all have had for 2022, because y'all have had a phenomenal year, and all joking aside, I mean, honestly, it's been probably a very strong memory for y'all that'll be there lifelong. But have y'all had days to where it's just been kind of like you've left and you're like, oh my gosh, what was these fish doing today during the year?
There, out of Coldwater, there wasn't one day we were on the ride home saying we should have done this or done that. Every tournament we gave ourselves a chance and could have walked away with, a W. So we never had that ride home like you may have, like you have had. We should have done this. There's just a few we didn't capitalize on.
Yeah, that'd be me. We the first 2 tournaments, so I had 2 good fish get off on. Actually, a couple fish on each tournament get off that we seen that cost us from winning both of those. But yeah, I'll take the blame.
Clell, did you fish during the instead of Coldwater? Did you fish another trail during 2022?
Just the Electric Elite. I fished the Electric Elite and then Coldwater. Yeah, I got 3 kids in college, so I'm trying to juggle fishing and kids. So
all at once, all 3 in college?
Yeah, well, my son, he's actually graduated college, going for his master's. But my other 2 are in it too. So yeah.
Well, congrats, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You need to sit down on a separate day. I get a huge booklet and start taking notes because I got 3 daughters that are going to be.
Hey, I need to bring my wife with me. She's the brains of the operation, and she's amazing with it. So she definitely could help you out.
Well, if she comes up here, I'll give you our address where we're staying in the cabin. Y'all come over and hang out with my wife, and she can talk to her and give
There
her.
you go. Yes, sir.
Steve Garman, hey guys, congrats on an awesome Coldwater. Correct me if I'm right, Coldwater Bass Club, right? Yeah, BC seasons, guys. So congrats.
Thank
I
you,
don't know,
Steve.
where's Coldwater and where all do y'all fish at?
Hard Labor, Bear Creek, High Falls, Juliet, Varner, Latham, maybe Black Shoals.
All the usual suspects.
Used to do Stone Mountain. Hopefully we get back to that soon.
What happened to Stone Mountain? It's off everyone's schedule.
Well, it's just ever since COVID, they didn't want everybody coming in there, and from what I'm understanding, it's a little hard to kind of get in touch with somebody to schedule it now. But hopefully we get in touch with somebody and get a few tournaments out there. It's not a bad lake.
It's the permit. When you get into over so many anglers, then you have to liability insurance. You have to have that, and the fee is unbelievably high just for the permit. And I can't remember how many years ago, Donnie, if he's watching, he might be able to remember it and know it, but I don't think Stone Mountain was always this price, but I think it's $20 just to be able to take and go in there and fish. You got to pay $20.
$20 a day to park is $40 for the year for a pass, so it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and there's a lot of deterrent there of reason why the club's just kind of backed away from it, but yeah. Would you say there was any lake during the year in Coldwater that both y'all men were like dreading? Like, oh my gosh, I don't know about this one.
The first Varner. I was dreading it. I just wanted to get 5 and get out of it, but it kind of turned out opposite. It was just a good morning, 30 minutes.
So the first tournament out of the gate for the year was the icebreaker of getting that good stringer of fish.
The first tournament?
That would have been the second one, right?
Yeah, that would have been the third one.
Oh, the third.
Yeah, that would have been
I
the third
should
one.
have lost them first two on them.
The first two, we shot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, sure did.
But we still had decent finishes. I think at third, and we had a 5th at Bear, but we had big fish, so it was still a good points day.
That's awesome. So what about, are y'all dreading going up to Lake Blue Ridge, fishing the TEC?
I mean, no. I'm just anxious to get up there and figure something out.
I've never been on it. So I've heard that, not too many good things about it, the people that fish it. Not bad things. It's just that there's a lot of small fish is what I've heard. You can catch fish, a lot of small fish you got to weed through. But, but I'll make the most of it. I'm excited about going. I'm always excited about fishing the TEC, but I just don't know Lake Blue Ridge. So we'll give it a shot.
Nicolai, you going to throw him some bones?
Throw this guy some bones? The dirt?
Yeah.
Need some goat bones.
So do y'all ever, I can tell it, Clell, your personality with it. Do you ever yank Nicolai's chain? Just trying to throw him off or something? Come on, tell us.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
I am a mess out there. I know. Yeah. So I definitely get to them sometimes. I'll have so many lures out, and I'll have tackle everywhere, and he is so neat. Like, he will actually stop fishing and clean up my station for me. But we're like brothers. Y'all don't understand that. We were raised together, so it's okay. You know what I mean? I like him cleaning up my mess.
Do you want to tell
You want to come out of the shop tomorrow?
I know. Come on.
We had a big mess back there.
Man, I go through so many baits. It's crazy.
Y'all have no idea the energy, Clell. Like, you and JV have a lot of similarities. I mean, obviously, I can tell JV stretches the truth a lot more probably than you do, but JV's the same way. And Nicolai, I'm not a clean person in the boat, but when I look back in the back, if I'm going to trip over 20 different things, just to get to a rod. I'm sitting there telling JV, hey, man, you might want to move these rods here, like trying to reduce variables. So I get it, Nicolai. I do.
I'm always asking, you want to put some in the rod box? You really need all those? I mean, I'm going to let him tell you what happened.
Yeah, you only got that one thing. What do you need 9 rods for?
Well, I fell in the boat on my own tackle trying to get the net, and I still netted the fish, but yeah, I like took my feet out. I fell in, feet in the air, hit the bottom of the boat. And then I cleaned up. So after that, I cleaned up my workstation. So,
we can use him.
I see why he wants me to keep it clean. I can't even get around.
We're gonna make you a bandolero style
with a net. I told you it needs to be called a net ninja. You know what I mean? Net ninja. Yes, it's just right there.
Right back there like a sword.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We'll give it to him. Let him test it out for the season. Let us know how that goes.
Need to give it to Wilson now.
Clell, you coming to the Nights of Lights Saturday night?
We'll try to make it. Yes, sir.
I was about to say, Chris, if you can get it done before then, we might even dub him as the Knight of Honor that night. Dub him with the net.
Did you get him too?
Don't even bring rods. Just bring the net.
That's all I need. I do plenty of catching with that net.
So just taking a brief pause for a moment. Anybody got any questions, feel free to fire them away. Nicolai, it sounds like you're talking about your son, your boy there, saying Rosella was saying watching you on the phone. He's watching Paw Patrol on the TV. So, old Paw Patrol.
He wanted to come. He got upset when we left.
How old is he?
He's just over 2.
Over 2, yeah.
Just over 2.
All right, so here's a question Jeffrey Cass has got, and I know y'all are not familiar with the Panoptics as much. You've been running the active target, but do y'all have any pointers for a new guy starting out with Panoptics maybe?
16-volt battery.
You probably still got them back there too, right? Chris?
Yeah.
Chris, you want to grab him one, show it?
We don't have one out. We sold that.
Well, they all look the same, but
no. I'll tell you what I did the first time I went out. You know, I put on the biggest thing I had, which was an A-rig, so I could practice on getting the thing dialed in and seeing the bait. And really, I went out there that day just playing with it, putting it on scout mode, perspective mode, forward, down. And that was all I did. And just throwing that A-rig and watching the bait and tweaking this and tweaking that. I'd take a day and dedicate and take the biggest bait you got out there and tune it in and get used to it.
I couldn't agree with that more, Nicolai, because day one with forward-facing sonar is about learning your trolling motor, which direction it's facing, and making that accuracy cast in the direction where you're looking at. That is a very, very good pointer. What about you, Clell? You got any pointers for him for a new guy starting out, forward-facing?
I haven't used one.
He is the new guy.
Yeah, I'm a new guy too. We just got one. I haven't even. Only one I've used is Nicolai's, and he don't let me up there much, but it's fun. I enjoy it.
You can't see those things in the back.
No, I don't mess with his fish from up there, man.
They won't get up there.
I won't get up there. I think if you're targeting fish like that, you know, you need to let him do his thing, and you don't need to be having baits like throwing over there.
I will say there's a guy on YouTube that I learned a lot about from forward-facing sonar from. That's real. It's more for your beginner level guys that are just getting into it. He's real basic and elementary about it, and then kind of walks you through his videos. It's Fish the Moment. Really good YouTube channel, and he does all kind of electronic stuff. He's good to listen to. Sometimes I just put him on in the truck when I'm on my way to work and just kind of listen to him almost like you would a podcast. He's got a lot of really, really good information. He does a lot of filming out on the lake, riding around in his boat, and actually screenshots the graphs and stuff. like from a GoPro, but he also screenshots it, like records it, so he can go back and talk about it later.
He throws a drone up and shows you where everything's at, what
Yeah.
he's talking about, how you're seeing it on your screen.
That's my hardest thing when I first started learning about all the different sonars, was trying to figure out what it is I am looking at on my screen. Like, I'm looking at the screen, where is that at in the water, and how far down is it, where in relation to where I'm standing at? And that YouTube channel actually helped me figure it out.
Yeah.
I agree. Another one just to throw out. I really enjoyed it from Panoptic's side. And I even hate kind of saying it because there's a lot of secrets there that he does. But Milliken, Milliken, Milliken Fishing. He runs the Panoptics and using the, picture in picture, showing his live screen of his forward facing and talking, and you can see him fishing. It's very helpful. Just don't panic. Nicolai me and Nicolai's talked about this in the past. His active target, you haven't had the issues I've had with my active target. There's guys out there with Panoptics that run into the same thing, that some of them work, some of them have problems. Just don't panic whenever you get it. If it's your first time out, Panoptics is notorious for having either the ghost tree or some type of, you can't see underneath. So just don't panic over it. You can get it figured out. But when you agree to that, Nicolai?
Yeah, I mean, you could have interference from your battery because you got everything tied into one battery. Again, I think I've said before, you probably want to isolate it on one battery. Make sure your wires ain't touching none of the other power wires wherever you're running through the boat. There's a lot of things to check, go over. So again, don't panic.
All right, you want to talk about that battery setup back there in the back, Mr. Simmons?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just going to say that the best tip I can give you for Panoptics and forward-facing sonar is to step up above your competition with 16-volt battery setup just for all your graphs. Because why be like everybody else and fish with 12 volts when you can go 16 volts? And you can buy it right here, Tiny Boat Nation Southeast. We got you set up. And even for you Lowrance guys that have your super special graphs that can't go more than 16.4 volts, we've got those little regulators that will keep it below that level, so you don't have to worry about burning up your Lowrance stuff.
Pump more juice into them.
Mo juice.
What's the warranty on them?
Give me some more.
15 years.
15 years on all Powerhouse lithium.
That's unbelievable on lithium batteries. So we've got a question coming in from Josh Griffith, and I've noticed that Nicolai has left the building, and it is centered to Nicolai. So
He can hear you.
Go ahead, come back.
okay, you can hear me. So I'm going to just go ahead and read it. And he's made an asterisk on changing something, and I got to – okay, right there. Okay, I see. Nicolai, with fish that are not super active and moving very quickly, do you find yourself, quote, leading the fish with your cast like you would, like, for example, wing shooting? Do you see yourself doing that, leading the fish ahead?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It just depends on what I'm seeing, how they're acting. If they're just laying there, if we're moving slow. I mean, I'll try a couple different things.
That's cool. Doug Hearn, talking about the battery for Powerhouse batteries. Do you need a special charger for the battery?
Yes. You need a 16 volt dedicated charger for them. We prefer the Powerhouse brand. I don't know a whole lot of other companies, like even on Amazon or anything, that are even selling 16 volt. It's not new, but it's only been around for a little while. So not a lot of people have jumped on board with the 16 volt craze yet.
I honestly don't know how many companies are actually making even a 16 volt, right? There's
one or two, but
Yeah.
they're all not from around here.
right.
So have either of you men, Ryan, Chris, have y'all met and spoke with Mr. Hearn before in the past? Doug Hearn that fishes?
Possibly. I'm terrible with names. I'm great with faces.
He fishes, I think, Southern Outcasts and some others. I am telling y'all, the knowledge Mr. Hearn has, me and him have talked hours upon hours since I've got to know him for past couple of years in the TEC. the main guy that got me started in John boat fishing, tournament fishing, 17, 18 years ago, actually before I even knew this Mr. Hearn, even fished John boat stuff. Robbie lives down in South Georgia, down at the Florida line. He gave me Mr. Hearn's number. He said, you might want to talk to this guy. And I actually called. The knowledge that this man's got for batteries, y'all, it will blow your mind away. I'm telling you. If you get up there to the TEC, you ever run into Mr. Hearn,
Yeah.
sit down and just talk with him. I'm telling y'all will be amazed. So he's asking about what about the benefits out of the batteries? Do you have what's benefits out of it?
So for the 16-volt system specifically, what you're doing is you're running a stronger, cleaner signal from your transducer to your graph, which is going to equate to, one, better image quality, no matter which graph you're fishing with. Two, is going to increase your distance with things like forward-facing sonar and the reaction speed. So like when I know y'all can probably tell more than I can with forward-facing sonar, there is just a slight bit of lag, and it's in the milliseconds now, but when you go up to the 16-volt system, it helps speed that up. The other thing is having a dedicated 16-volt system just for your graphs eliminates what Nicolai was talking about earlier, is interference with other electronics in the boat. So we try to tell people when we're doing our installs is if you can eliminate all your interference by running its own dedicated battery for your live scope and your graphs and all that stuff, you're eliminating a whole lot of potential problems right from the get-go. Then, of course, they're lithium, 15-year warranty. I mean, you can't beat the warranty on them.
Gotcha. So, Josh Griffith saying Doug is a big-time geek for his age. Nerds out on some technology. High-tech redneck. Yes, he is Outcast's longest-term member. That's awesome. And he is, Josh agrees with it, a very, very stand-up gentleman. So,
congratulations, Doug, this past weekend on winning at Hard Labor.
I did see that. He did take and win, didn't he?
The
He
last
bumped
one to
us
walk
out.
down the
That's who
hill.
that is. That's Doug. Congratulations.
He sold the throne.
No, you don't.
Oh,
I mean, you
No,
don't
I'm
need
just
to
kidding.
know.
I'm just kidding, Doug. I'm sorry. I don't know you, Doug.
everybody in the entire state of Georgia is fixing to be PM and Doug on Facebook Messenger. Doug, you better cut your phone off now, buddy. He says, thank y'all, man, for giving him a shout out. So, Chris Ryan, you got any more questions?
I do. I don't think I've ever asked anybody this. What's y'all's favorite knot to tie?
Polymer knot. It's the way I always tie. I'm old school. This is
You
what I
talking
was
about
raised
knot or
on.
bait?
Knot. What do you tie?
I just follow them.
Y'all always use that one?
I do.
That's not.
Wet it a little bit and then pull it tight.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Is,
Or you'll
is,
kind of like burn it.
is
when you pull
licking
it
it,
tight.
wetting it, a little saliva before you pull it tight.
Now, y'all are both mono guys, right?
Yeah.
Or fluoro? Or
I'm on.
No shame in big game.
That's what I say. Yeah.
no braid?
I'll usually buy a spool of 12 and a spool of 15 for $35. Big spool. And that'll last me all year. I think it's 4,700 yards and 3,400 yards.
I just wait till the spool gets low and then he gives me his balance.
Because I think if you little spools, the memory on them little spools, I don't like it. I like the big spools because the memory's, it's coming off bigger. So,
Yes.
yeah, I think that makes a little bit of a difference.
So, I got a question to ask both of y'all. You ever throw Stren Original?
I can't recall.
Clell?
No, sir. I always throw big game clear. Yes. That's just, it's cheap and I can replace it every time I go fishing if I want to,
I'm telling y'all right now, like I have seen it one too many times. Same thing for big game. I love throwing it, still throw it all the time, but I have seen my fishing partner literally sit there and throw that Stren Original, and just the strength of it compared to big game, it is better. It is. So when in the very beginning, Clell, you was talking about it, and I remember I think you mentioned this years before. You don't even throw spinning rods, your bait cast rods. So, Nicolai, are you trying to convert him over into the spinning rods? Because
No, he's not one you really want to change his style. His style is his style. It is what it is.
Why don't you like throwing the spinning rods, Clell?
I don't know.
He's got too hard of a hook set.
I do set the hook hard, and I don't like throwing light line. I break off if I throw anything light, and I feel like a spinning rod. I know you can catch fish on it, and I can catch the same. I mean, I know the sensitivity ain't there because I felt with both of them, and I know you can feel better with especially a light shaky head or a light bait on a spinning rod. But really, if you go get a good setup, like I'm throwing that new, ice and that, you can throw any bait, and I feel just as good with a shaky head on that than I do, not quite as good as a spinning rod, but it still is good enough for me. I can feel them. I can feel them hit it. I guess that's all that matters.
I gotta.
I think it slows you down too. The spinning reel slows you down, and I can fish. I can slow myself down, and I think that's a key thing for most folks. Is the speed, fishing too fast.
I'm gonna probably ask a question, and I'm probably gonna regret this, but I wanted to ask because I've had a lot of in-depth conversations from a lot of anglers from different avenues, and I want to hear y'all spin on this. Okay, I know y'all are very, very ethical anglers. Y'all like to sight fish or not sight fish?
I do not like it.
I don't like it either. I wish they'd do away with fishing while the fish were on bed. I think it really hurts.
So here's my thought. Okay, everybody knows it from an ethical standpoint. Sight fishing, you're bed fishing, you foul hook a fish, you turn it back. Tournament, whether or not it's written in the rule 100% to it, everybody knows it. What's ethical, what's not. Turn it back. If you sight fish, throw it back.
That's right.
Here's my question, and this has been brought up by a lot of folks, and I'm really dreading bringing this up. But forward-facing sonar, you're literally watching, not all the time, but your sight. You're watching your graph. You see the fish, it reacts. What's your take on, do you feel like there's ever going to be rules in place down the road of if you've watched that fish and it foul hooks itself and it comes to the boat, and I ain't saying you snag it, I'm saying it were to just react, it hits, it's foul hook. Do you ever see tournaments looking at an angle of, and I really dread saying that and asking it, but I'd rather be open and talk about it now versus down the road. Do you ever see something like that being constrictive?
Maybe, but I've never really, targeted fish. I don't think a foul hooked one, maybe with a spoon on a crappie. I foul hook more fish with a crankbait, because they swipe at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's different.
I can't really say I've recalled this new style of fishing where I've foul hooked one.
I've never seen a hook one.
Most of them, though, whenever forward face sonar, they're targeting it so much that they're going to engulf it. I know for the most part.
It's usually in their mouth pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think, and this is where, and it sounds like, correct me if I'm right with this, I think it goes to, and this is the conversations I've had pretty much with everybody that's brought it up, talking to me about it. It's more of the intent. If someone's out there, intentionally trying, to do something.
Treble hook in a weighted treble hook trying to snatch the fish on it. That ain't right. I don't think that. I mean, you see somebody with a snatch hook on their pole, something needs to be said.
Yeah. I mean, and trust me, guys, it's nothing to bring up about with y'all's success in the season. I promise you it's not that. I've had so many anglers not even competing in the TEC that has been bringing it up, asking about it. And that's, I can see both sides of the fence in a way of like, you see them. You know the reaction. But I don't disagree with you, Nicolai. The ones that I have caught, I mean, they're chewing it. I mean, they're getting it inside that mouth, and you know, I don't know.
Yeah, really, the only one I can see doing is maybe a spoon, you know, and a crankbait, you know, because they swipe at it. But most of the foul hooks, like I said, has been crappie for me. When I'm crappie fishing, there's a group of them, and you're just steadily popping, you know, that thing's darting in different directions.
They're going to get something.
Yeah, everyone's, yeah, I mean, for the most part, bass, you know, they're usually hooked maybe on the outside. Maybe they hit the spoon head first, you know.
Yeah. All right, so changing gears. Have y'all utilized topwater fishing with the forward facing? Has it been fun? I've yet to experience the summertime. Has it been fun?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it some because you can see the bait on top of the screen, so it's fun. It's cool to see how the fish react to a topwater bait. Maybe a school, you know, how many of them come up? Is just one? Do they ignore it? So it's fun to watch that.
That's awesome. Right, Chris?
Predictions for what it's going to take to win at Blue Ridge? Bag weight?
I have no predictions. But what I hear, it's probably going to take 14, 15 pounds. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Sure.
Par for course.
15, maybe a 3.5, maybe a 4-pound spot.
I don't know if them 4-pound spots exist in that lake or not. Ryan, Chris, you got any more questions?
Just congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
Once
Appreciate you.
again,
Thank
it
you.
was fun fishing with y'all for a couple of them.
Thank you.
I know, Nicolai, you've got another gentleman in there. I don't know if he would be willing to want to come back around on the screen again.
Over here, Scooter.
Here, dude.
Front center.
He
I want to ask Maverick,
he fished this past Saturday with somebody else
against Dad?
against that.
Did you beat Dad?
No.
All right, so I'm gonna ask, and if you know Maverick, don't say. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this out there. Do you know Clell's favorite bait?
I did not.
Your dad won't even tell you what his favorite bait is.
I told him to tell his dad to come see me tournament morning, and I was gonna give him something. And he didn't come to me, so I didn't give him no bait. I was gonna give it to him though.
Maverick.
I remember when we discovered it. It was 2019.
Yeah, that is when we found out about it.
But you broke it out.
I broke it out, and it worked.
Maverick, are you going to buy into this when they show it to you, or are you just going to be like, whatever, write it off?
You know, that's one thing about. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was gonna say one thing I learned: you can't fish somebody else's bait. You know what I mean? You really got to have confidence in it yourself, and without it, I mean, you can try it what I'm throwing or what he's throwing, but unless you really have confidence, it ain't gonna do you no good.
That's it, Maverick. When he shows you that bait, are you going to be like, I got it, I'm going to throw it, or are you just going to be like writing it off?
I mean, I'm probably going to try it. It's not going to hurt to try it. You can't catch someone else's fish, though.
That's right. Is it that Yozuri spinner bait with the giant eyeball on the back of it?
It's the spinner bait with the circular ball instead of a blade.
Yes, it's the ball.
Have you ever fished with that thing?
No, I haven't.
I bought like 6 of them. I keep losing them, but they look so cool. I'm like, that thing's got to work. They ain't never seen anything like that before.
Oh boy.
Maverick, I'm trying to get some trash talk out of you. I ain't going to beat around the bush. Anything you want to say to Clell, being you're going to be competing against him?
Nothing besides good luck.
I mean, don't be scared. I promise you, Chris and Ryan.
Family, yeah, this is my boy right here.
Are you going to plan on trying to knock the brakes off of Clell when you get up here to Blue Ridge?
Try to do that to everybody, but
That's right.
That's awesome.
Boy
That's
can
awesome.
fish. I'm here to tell you, he's in a boat with. If he ain't in a boat with his dad, he's in the boat with his grandpa, and his grandpa's a better fisherman than his dad. So,
Mm.
yeah. So he's fishing with some good fishermen.
Nicolai, Daniel, I got a question. Out of those two men sitting beside you, who's the messiest?
Well, this one really don't have much gear, so I'm charging him rent.
Maverick, anytime you want to come fish with me, I won't charge you rent. You can come fish.
All right.
He'll teach you something like he did Travis this past weekend. Hey, Travis.
Oh, man. Maverick, anything you want to tell him, though?
Just good luck.
Just good luck. That's right. End of the day, all it means is just having fun. Even if it's ribbing every once in a while and stuff. I know we all like to have just a good time, aggravate one another and stuff. But, again, congrats to both you men, Clell, Nicolai, Daniel. I always want to say Nicolai. Now we've got two Nicolais in the show, so sorry. But Ryan, Chris, if y'all are clear, I guess they are clear.
I'm glad y'all got to see me.
Y'all get down there and take a look, check them out. If you ain't been down there to the shop, go down there and tell them where y'all were at again.
In Georgia. You can Google it. We're on Google now. We're special. It's in Oxford, Georgia, right off Highway 138.
You know what the first thing that come to my mind is when you said we're on Google now? The term jerk just keeps getting brought up. The movie The Jerk. I'm in a phone book.
Oh,
I am going to be somebody. I'm going to stop right there. Sorry, y'all. Doug said, great job, guys, winning Coldwater. Congrats, man. Points champions right here. Clell Carnes, Daniel Nicolai. Thank y'all, man, for coming on tonight. Ryan, Chris, thank y'all for hosting, helping out for the Hooked Up Lives. Maverick, thanks for being behind the scenes. And you was probably want to like spit wads at Clell the whole night, wasn't you?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. So thank y'all, men, again for tonight. Nobody else has any questions. We'll go ahead and conclude it. So we'll be seeing all y'all men next month, just about a month away. So congrats again.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for getting all these together, Merrick.
Yeah, you did a great job.
And it's been real fun being on here with you.
We always have fun with it. So again, remember, Nights of Lights, Saturday night. This Saturday night, we'll see y'all men there. We'll probably even be doing some lives there as well. So see y'all men probably Saturday night, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We'll be there.
All righty. Thank y'all.
See you.
Yeah.
That is it, folks. Our 2022 Hooked Up Lives. We have fired them out one after another so quickly this year. We had a lot to get done in a short time period with all of our events that we have scheduled between our Nights of Lights, which is this Saturday night. I'm going to play a promotional video for our Nights of Lights. Get over there to our website if you have not purchased a meal ticket. You can still purchase a meal ticket. There's no guarantee whenever you get there that you're going to have a meal ticket if you do not purchase one in advance. So it will definitely be cut off after tomorrow of not accepting the meal tickets beyond that point after tomorrow night. So you'll be literally showing up at the door Saturday and having to pay for a meal ticket, and there's no guarantee if you have not already paid for one. So super fun night lined up. Again, we appreciate mostly our viewers that tune in and watch our Hooked Up Live shows. Each and every one of y'all taking the time out, commenting, watching it live, or watching it at a later date. And without our sponsors, this would not be possible. So we appreciate our Hooked Up Live sponsors: Line Taming Serum, Just Catch Bass, Star Lures, G2 Gemini Jerseys, Tiny Boat Nation Outdoors, PFD Fishing, and dugout bait and tackle. Appreciate each and every one of our Hooked Up Live sponsors. Get over there. At the beginning of this video feed, I actually took and had a ticker down at the bottom where it was actually scrolling across down at the bottom of the screen to each one of our Hooked Up Live sponsors. So their social media pages and everything else is through there. Get over, check them out. I know each and every one would be glad to see you. So again, our Nights of Lights tomorrow night, the band Waleska is going to be performing live there at the Shriners Temple in Atlanta. If you're curious about the directions to the Shriner Temple in Atlanta, it is on our TEC's website. All you have to do is go over to GABassTech.com, and you'll be able to take and see all the information related to the Nights of Lights information with it. So appreciate each and every one of y'all. Who knows? We may even take and get us another live going before the TEC event. I've been having some conversations with a couple of different folks, and we very well may be doing a very special live possibly before the TEC. So stay tuned with that. We appreciate Coldwater, Anglers, Points Champions, Clell Carnes, and Daniel Nicolai. And we'll see each and every one of y'all hopefully Saturday night. And if not, we will be back very, very soon. The TEC, Georgia Bass TEC Total Electric Championship, sponsored by ePropulsion, Mac Boren, Tiny Boat Nation. We will be in many, many more other sponsors, but these are our title sponsors. We appreciate each and every one. We'll be making some social media posts for that. So Nights of Lights, Saturday night. See you all Saturday night. And God bless each and every one of you.
There's no telling what electric John boat fishing could turn into.
Taking this TEC to a much higher level.
This is the best anglers in the state.
The TEC's the cream of the crop.
Meet a lot of folks with similar interests in different parts of the state.
It's a community experience. We enjoyed every second of it.
It's a super big deal for us, something we won't forget for
a
very long time.
Something we absolutely will never forget.
Yeah, I'm still over the moon. It's amazing.
Let's get up there. Come on. Unbelievable.
Community to John boat fishing that it's become, especially here in Georgia, it's an amazing thing to see. We enjoyed every second of it.